A Sarasota County official just drove into the preserve, but no one else has been allowed inside or out. We do know that the medical examiner is now on scene after what is believed to be human remains were found inside this vast environmental park. Now, the FBI just held a press conference and they confirmed those partial human remains were found near items belonging to Brian Laundrie, a backpack and a notebook. Now, let's take a look here at the scene. This is where the press conference just happened. These are Northport police vehicles blocking off the entrance. You can see they have some crime scene tape up, police line where you cannot enter. Let's go ahead and listen to what the FBI had to say at that press conference.
That's right, Nate. So I'm under the impression that a lot of people thought they'd be able to come here and get a ticket and go inside. We've heard of a couple of people who have been able to get an invitation inside, but that is certainly not the norm. Again, this is only an event of 400 people. So a lot of these people on the sidewalk here with us were hoping they might be able to score a ticket, not realizing this is not a rally where there are tickets available to the public. Again, like you said, this is invitation only. This scene has changed minute by minute. I'll tell you, when I first got here, I was able to speak with a father whose wife works at Chico's here. He told me that his wife called him in a panic and told him that there was an active shooter. Their son goes to the daycare here. He's only 3 years old. So as you can imagine, that father was in a panic. He was sweating, as we all are out here on this hot day, but he was really nervous. I was able to tell him that we had confirmed this was a hoax. A little bit harder to stand here. As you can see, we are being pelted with water from the Banana River, and it is low tide right now. The waves still crashing along these rocks. This is a little foggy on our camera, and that's because it went from 82 to 77 like that. The temperature drops and the winds pick up. We are a go for launch. That's the word from SpaceX in a press conference just minutes ago, and here is the proof. Take a look here at this video from Twitter. I want you to take a look at what's going on here at this capsule. The arm is being retracted from it, so essentially the way the astronauts got into this thing is moving away. There's no going back at this point. So as of right now, this is a go for launch. We've got about T-minus 32 minutes until this thing starts. So of course, I'll be tracking it all here in your NBC2 Alert Center. Here in your NBC2 Alert Center, I'm tracking breaking news in Philadelphia as 6 homes are on fire. Take a look at this footage from above. You can see it looks like these are duplex houses, and 6 of them are burning right now. 120 firefighters are on this scene, and we're learning just now that the initial call came in for downed wires. You can see some kind of cell tower here on the right side of your screen there, but right now it's not clear if anybody was inside, if they were able to get out. Right now, this is a really active scene happening in northeast Philadelphia. I'll keep tabs on it and pass along any information I confirm. NBC2 is coming on the air with breaking news. The Lee County Jail court facility is on fire. Moments ago, smoke was pouring out of this building. Right now, the sheriff's office tells us this was a minor electrical fire, but you can see for yourself that smoke pouring out in this very busy area on Ortiz Avenue in Fort Myers, just south of MLK Boulevard. NBC2's Gage Goulding is on scene. Gage, what are you seeing? So far, he has resisted ordering a shelter in place for the state of Florida, but that could change. Let's go ahead and listen into where he's at today. Let's get back to that breaking news. Coronavirus had a record-breaking weekend in Florida. But keep this in mind. Here in our community, our numbers have stayed pretty consistent over the last couple of weeks. This is a representation of Lee County here. Apart from this big spike in Lee County on Thursday, you can see new cases in the county were hovering around 200 per day. NBC2 is the place to be for breaking news. Overnight, Cape Coral police say they are investigating a mystery, and a fire tears apart a Golden Gate Estates home. We have confirmed information for you. Have you ever wondered about the things you touch every day? Things like shopping carts and door handles. We're going around Lee County to 8 different spots using this Phylogen surface testing kit to find out what you're bringing inside your home. So for each surface, we have 1 swab. We're going to put that swab after we test it into these tiny vials.
Pandemic or not, there are some places we can't avoid. Surfaces we can't help but touch. But with Phylogen's first-of-its-kind kit, we have a better idea of what's around us.
All right, next stop.
My photographer and I made stops like this at grocery stores, gas stations, and even public restrooms.
We're going to swab the stall handle. We're going to do behind the toilet seat because of the aerosols when you flush that are picked up in the room. It's gross. And then we're gonna do the restroom mirror because people are breathing on it, especially if they take their masks off.
How about the public library? 3 swabs there. We hopped over to RSW
High-touch area where people check in and get their boarding pass.
to see what extra baggage people are bringing with them. We also dropped in on someone NBC2 viewers know well.
Hey, Peter.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you? So some of you may remember that our main anchor, Peter Bush, had coronavirus. He isolated here inside his home for multiple weeks. Now, it's been a couple weeks since he tested negative, but we want to see if there's any traces of the virus left behind.
So this is our home office, AKA my quarantine room. I was in here for nearly 3 weeks, and the girls would write little encouraging messages and pictures on the glass window panes. We held off for a couple weeks after I had tested negative before anyone came back in. I guess we'll see.
We sent 21 swabs back to Philogen's lab, and only 1 came back positive for the virus that causes COVID-19.
You found a positive in a space where somebody had been diagnosed with COVID.
Peter's quarantine room.
It doesn't give you information about whether or not the virus is active.
While it had been weeks since he tested negative, traces of the virus were left behind on the inside door handle. But we knew Peter had coronavirus. What about the other 20 surfaces we tested?
If you found negatives in any of your samples, it was for one of 2 reasons. Either people didn't transmit the virus indoors or it had been recently cleaned.
6 of our swabs were done outside, another 9 in places where masks are required, and 3 inside a restroom that had just been cleaned.
We're doing a lot of the right things.
While our results are relatively encouraging,
We could be doing more by implementing surface testing to really understand, is the way that we're reopening our buildings going to curb the spread of this pandemic and save lives?
There was one more location that we swabbed that could have had COVID-19 germs present. The results came back undetermined. It was the screen at the gas pump, not the keypad you'd be touching, but right here, the spot that's at eye level for most people. Our swab came back covered in dirt, so we know it's not being cleaned regularly. It's possible a sick person without a mask on could cough on it and spread those germs, but the reason we couldn't tell whether there was COVID on it was because it was literally too dirty to test. And as for the germs we found in your house, Peter, it's possible it was an inactive form of the virus that was left behind.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
A guy got bit by an alligator. Please hurry up.
You never understand the power of wild animal like that until you're in its mouth.
Jeffrey Heim had been in the Myakka River for just over a minute.
He was bitten by an alligator?
Yes, he's right now. He's being real good.
How old is he?
When the amateur fossil hunter became the hunted.
Come up for a breath, and I felt like I got hit by a boat.
A 6.5-foot gator chomped down on his skull.
I thought it was. He's gonna need a lot of stitches.
Felt like propeller to the head, and it pulled me down.
Attached to the mask on his head, a GoPro recording the whole thing.
What it will show is it's not going to see the gator hit me. It's going to see it come off because it hit me from behind. I never saw it coming.
With the footage sitting at the bottom of the river, the truth about what happened was trapped only inside Jeffrey's head, held together by 35 staples.
Some people are accusing me of provoking the attack.
Hoping to prove his innocence, Jeffrey asked other divers to help him find the GoPro. That mission failed, but we had a different idea, and Jeffrey was eager to let us give it a go.
Yes, sir.
Veteran-owned tech company FlyMotion agreed to meet us on the river.
One of the teams that we work with the most, and especially in local public safety, is bomb squads. You know, we're helping put something else in harm's way in front of them.
With their underwater drone, typically used for public safety, government, and defense.
Most of the time, we're giving this equipment to first responders, the guys who are on the front lines that are, searching for people, lost swimmers. So it looks like we've got maybe 1 foot or 2 feet of visibility. Looks like you're in a good spot there, Chase. Maybe even more, a little bit in towards shore if you can. We're getting to the right place here.
Less than an hour into our search, FlyMotion found a snorkel.
I cannot believe that.
And as their drone breached the surface,
It's got a GoPro on it.
Yes, sir. Hey, great job, brother. That's super freaking cool. That's crazy.
I FaceTimed Jeffrey to share the good news.
Found your GoPro.
No way.
This is the guy that found it.
Hey, buddy.
Wow, you are really good at your job, because I had divers. Good job, guys. Thank you so much. I really, really hope I was filming.
He was. NBC2 can confirm the video shows the GoPro falling into the water as the gator attacks Jeffrey from behind.
Seems like the gentleman who lost it wants to see it real bad, and if he does, I'm excited for him.
Unfortunately, by the time this story aired, Jeffrey decided not to let us show you the footage we found, citing emotional distress.
You're lucky. Crazy story, huh? Well, you're lucky as hell.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't show the video, I guess, but you
Right.
saw it.
I did. So we got the GoPro that day. We came back and looked at it and, had our plans to get it back to Jeffrey. So the GoPro's perspective is from the top of his head. So all you see about a minute into this video of him diving for fossils is the water. The GoPro splashes into the water and it floats to the bottom. So you never see the gator, you never see the jaws, you don't even see Jeffrey, his arms or anything. Just splashes right in.
The top of his head is still all of the evidence.
So sorry to not be able to show you, but I know it's frustrating just to hear what it is.
Yeah.
But
Still an amazing story.
Yeah.
you can
Good
imagine.
job.
What it
I
looks
can't
like.
believe you found it.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
can't
We were
either.
so excited.
Yes.
So happy we could get it back to him.